I'm Morten Solvik, Vice President. Welcome to the Mahler Spotlight, a monthly webcast that provides an in-depth look at a single topic from the world of Mahler. On the third Saturday of every month, we ask guest presenters to focus on a specific work by Mahler, recording, cultural history, biographical details, anecdotes, etc. At other times, we will bring you extensive interviews with performers, composers, and other personalities from the world of music and culture, putting Mahler in the spotlight from today's perspective. Last month, we brought you an extensive interview with Jason Starr, a documentary filmmaker whose explorations of Mahler's symphonies has opened up new perspectives on these masterpieces to audiences far and wide. Jason reflected on the art of filmmaking, showed us excerpts from all of his films on the symphonies, and answered your many questions at the end of the show. Today, we are live, if you will, from Chile as guests of the Portillo International Music Festival and Academy to talk to its director, Alejandra Urrutia, and others to learn more about how this celebration of music is inspiring in young people a broader perspective on art, self, and society. Before we begin, let me remind everyone attending to post any questions if you are with us live to the comments section. We will get to these at the end of our show. Don't forget to include your name or at least the city and country you are writing from. Also, the Mahler Spotlight is brought to you by Mahler Foundation. So if you want to support our activities, please become a member. Just go to our website at mahlerfoundation.org for all the details. So let's go to Chile to meet Alejandra Urrutia, founder and director of the Portillo International Music Festival and Academy. We're going to take you from Vienna across Europe and the Atlantic and South America to Santiago, and then up to the Andes Mountains to Portillo. We'll take our virtual trip now. There's the Vienna Opera House. Here we are in Santiago. And now we're going up into the mountains, into the Andes. And here we are in Portillo. So we need the introduction, Francisco?
I think we're having a problem with the audio. Just give me 1 second, please. Can you hear it, Morten?
I cannot.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
So we're waiting to say hello to Alejandra, looking out over the beautiful scenery from the hotel.
Hello, everyone. I'm here in the incredible Andes Mountains, home of the Portillo International Music Festival. I wish you were all here with me, but I can only share this incredible place full of magic for music and nature. I send you a little piece of my country as an example of the spirit of Latin America.
Okay, now that we have you inside, welcome Alejandra. Hopefully you're ready to go.
Hi, Morten.
Hello, Alejandra. You were on the Mahler Hour this past fall and fascinated so many people with your account of the concept of brotherhood, or siblinghood, as we should say, with Mahler's Second Symphony, that we thought we would come back to learn more about another project you've launched, the Portillo International Music Festival and Academy. briefly, what is this about?
Well, it's a festival that I dreamed a long time ago while I was the conductor of a youth orchestra in the south of Chile. And the idea was to create an instance for young musicians to concentrate only on music for 24 hours. So the idea, and in hopefully in a very beautiful place, so we can all feel like a big family with music, nature, and teachers and students.
Well, you did choose a spectacular place. It's stunningly beautiful, perched up there in the Andes Mountains. I think we have a little video here, a segment about music and nature and how you've created this special surrounding.
Cuando yo trabajo con jóvenes, ellos sacan la juventud en mí. Entonces me llenan de energía, de esperanza e de inspiración. La música para mí entrega felicidad, esperanza, inspiración y valores esenciales del ser humano.
We're always together like family. We have meals together. It's everything under one roof, and that makes it very unusual. I think it's more intense than other festivals because of that.
Cuando empezamos a ver todo el ambiente musical, todos estos chiquillos, aprendí un poquito hoy día con ellos, me dijeron de las masterclass, que más o menos cómo era el asunto, y bueno, nos informaron del concierto y me volé.
La carrera del músico tiene frustraciones. Esas frustraciones, esos aprendizajes se hablan con los estudiantes en este festival. Esa instancia, el vivir junto con el alumno durante el festival, lo hace súper sano, súper enriquecedor y súper igualitario, nos pone a la par.
A veces suele suceder que por X o Y razón no tocas en los conciertos, pero aquí sí, ellos tienen esa responsabilidad. Ellos saben que van a estar en ese escenario. Hay una energía impresionante que los convoca a unirse a las horas que tengan que reunirse. Creo que el enfoque es muy bueno y creo que eso también es un acierto del festival, que ese escenario lo comparten todos.
They have been wonderful and they have been incredibly respectful and really hardworking.
Las personas pueden ir y disfrutar de este ambiente lleno de música.
La música en sí tiene un mensaje muy poderoso, que no lo tienen las palabras. Y eso va directo a tu alma.
Well, I think it's obvious from that video itself how important location is and the creation of a very special atmosphere. Tell us a little bit about the relationship, as we heard in this video, between student and faculty and nature.
Yeah, well, I feel this is what makes the festival very unique. And we have the festival and the academy. So if I can explain a little bit about that, we have 52 students that are selected to the festival and with full scholarship, because we want everybody to come to Portillo. And so the idea is that we create this musical ecosystem where we all relate to one another. We all learn from each other. And as they mentioned in the video, we do everything together. No, we eat together, we rehearse together, we practice together, we go to the swimming pool together. So and this is the purpose of this, is to really feel comfortable around each other, and also because all the students come from different places. So we want for them to experience how it feels when you relate with someone from a different country, no? Even if you speak the same language.
And where are the students from? They're from many different countries, aren't they?
Yeah, we have people, students from Chile, from Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay, Colombia, Venezuela. This year we have students from Canada, the United States. So we want actually students from all around the world to be here, not just Latin America, no? Because we want to share Latin America with the rest of the world.
It's of course a wonderful project, and I'm wondering a little bit about, you said something about having them all 52 of them on full scholarship. How are you finding the funds? If I may be practically minded here for a moment, it must be a real challenge.
It is. It's not easy. Every year we try to find new ways to attract people to give support to the festival. Like I said before, the 52 students go full scholarship, and we of course need to have funding and find the funding for the teachers and to stay in the place. So most of our funding comes from private people that believe in the project and who knows us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what type of opportunities do you have otherwise? This is in South America, and of course you're attracting, excuse me, all of the Americas here. But of course the big draw is for Latin American students. Do they have many opportunities like this, or is this really more of a unique offering that they have?
There are a couple of other festivals in Brazil, but what I think makes it special, this festival, is that we concentrate on chamber music repertoire, which is very unusual and unique. And I do this because I'm a violinist myself, and I had the chance to go to different festivals. I went to Aspen when I was a violinist, and also as a conductor. And so I experienced this magic when you are around so many people that are so wonderful, no? But the idea of chamber music comes from my studies as a violinist. I studied at the University of Michigan as a violinist, and every moment I had to do chamber music, I will do it, because I feel that it's in this language that you develop all the tools to be a wonderful musician, an artist, no? And then you can use all of that as a orchestral musician or as a soloist. So this is the main reason.
Yeah, I mean, chamber music, of course, you have to play like a soloist and listen like an orchestra member, because without all of those skills at once, it doesn't work. So it is a very, very high form of music making, and one very, very demanding. How do you admit the students? What are your criteria, and what's that process like?
Well, they go through a process. They had to apply for the festival. They had to send a couple of videos with a specific repertoire that we ask for, and then the teachers look at these videos and myself, and then we make a decision on who can be in the festival. With the experience, this is our third festival, and we feel now that we want to add another step to the festival, which is to meet them before going to Portillo, no? To maybe by Zoom, to get to know them a little before they come to Portillo, because we really feel and we want to create a place of excellence, musical excellence, a little bit like elite athletes, no? Mm-hmm. So we really want them to know where they're going, no? Mm-hmm. The expectations are high, and it's a very caring place. So we're going to add that for our next festival.
And who are the coaches and instructors? Because obviously there aren't just students, there are master classes happening all the time.
Yeah, well, this is something that I really, it's extremely important to the festival that we invest in the best that we can have. So for this, for last year, we had the American String Quartet with us, and this year they're also with us, and then we have 5 wonderful musicians from Latin America, from important orchestras around South America.
Mm-hmm. And it's impossible to get around this question because, of course, COVID has struck around the world. And the big question, of course, is how are you dealing with COVID this year? It's your 3rd year, but it's the first one with COVID and hopefully the last. What are you doing to create this environment? What are your answers for this?
Well, we know that it has been a challenge for all of us as humanity, the pandemic, but we always wanted to feel it like an opportunity for the festival. For us, it's an opportunity to make the festival visible to the world. This year, we have added many master classes from musicians. Most of them are my peers from the University of Michigan. So it's wonderful for me to also to share with them again musically. But we also have added conversations, dialogues, lectures from different areas that we feel is essential for the festival, because we believe that the festival is a holistic festival. So we have had, for example, a doctor that worked with Alzheimer and music. Yesterday, for example, we had a physician that works with music, and he talked about the music of the cosmos. And we had a wonderful neuroscientist, the first day, that he's also himself a jazz musician, and he has a fascination to know about what happens in the mind, in the brain, when a jazz musician is improvising. So all these things are happening in the festival because we really believe in this. We believe that we all need to learn from each other, again, like an ecosystem, and learn from each other and see each other, because at the end, this is the most important thing, not to be visible. No, when you see someone, that person feels great, no? And this is what we want to create.
So of course, it's unusual to have a neuroscientist at a music festival, but of course, the musical experience and the job of a musician is much more than playing the right notes. It's much more about a much bigger view of who they are, who one is, and what they're contributing to society. I'm going to talk in a moment to one of your colleagues a little bit more about this. But I think we may have another video. Francisco, do we have another video? I believe from the festival. I wanted to show this festival because it is particularly featuring
La misma naturaleza hace que tú entres en un espacio muy reflexivo, donde te puedas concentrar solo en la música. La idea es hacerlo en un lugar especial que permita enfocarse solo en eso. Casi como un retiro, en el cual todas las energías y las 24 horas estarán enfocadas a la música. Festival Internacional de Música Portillo 2019.
Of course, that was your video for 2019, but I like showing it because you emphasize nature, and many people who are fond of Mahler will, react the way probably that I did. This looks so much like, especially the mountains that Mahler knew in southern Tyrol, and his quest to find lakes and mountains and so on. What part does Mahler play in all of this?
Well, of course, I would imagine that most musicians just being at this place, at this wonderful place with beautiful nature, makes a huge difference in the moment that you have to be confronted with your own instrument, no? And when I think of nature, especially during these past 2 years, I think of Mahler. I mean, it's impossible not to think of Mahler. This morning, I was sharing with some of the students. We were closer to the lake today at the beginning of the day, and I was talking to them, about how important was for Mahler nature, and I'm sure if he knew this place, he would probably have a little cabin where he would have his own piano and start composing. Music and nature, they're so connected. It's impossible not to. Today I was in the morning. In the very morning, there were these two birds, like talking to one another. And suddenly I see them like flying, like really, really fast. And my first impression in my head was tremolo. Oh, the birds are doing tremolo. And then I was thinking, what does a tremolo mean in sound? And I mean, I could imagine what Mahler will think about all these things. And he was such an incredible humanist. And I would love to know even more about him, about his world and about his mind. I mean, we have had incredible conversations about his world,
Yes, yes. And I'm very pleased to be a guest as well at the Academy. Talk a little bit about Mahler. I would like to expand our perspective on the festival and Academy and talk to one of your colleagues, because there are more dimensions, as you've already talked about, with regard to what the student experiences here. And I think much in the way of Mahler, this expansive, all-embracing approach to not only music, but who we are and what it means. So we'll come right back to you, but I want to welcome Caroline Ward, who is the leadership and personal coaching coordinator for the festival. Caroline, are you there?
I am, Morten. Hello. Good morning.
Yeah. Caroline is joining us from Australia, which is it's a sacrifice on our behalf. I know it's the middle of the night or the early morning, however you want to look at it. Thank you very much for coming.
My pleasure. Thank you for the invitation.
So leadership, personal coaching, all these other aspects of what all the students are also doing while they're there. Why are these so important to a music festival?
Well, Morten, as you know, there's three of us who have been involved in creating, coordinating and sustaining the festival and Academy. It's Alejandra, whose idea in the first instance, Angelica, who is just phenomenal to land things and make them happen. And my work had been a lot, but working with Ale in her early days of conducting and then through to more recent years, and with Angelica in this idea of coaching in terms of understanding how life works, that doesn't have to be a struggle. It's not a push. You don't have to force things. You just have to know the right track. And once you get into that and you align, so it is about who you are and what it is that you're here for. So, in Spanish, the word is don, which is your gift, your God-given gift. And once you connect with that and you're here for something bigger than just you and your own satisfaction, though that is a natural consequence, but you know how to look after that. You know how to look after your own well-being. You know how to look after your happiness, and that you're in service to something that is, you said in the class just recently in the festival, that the job of the musician is not to, solve economic problems, nor climatic problems, nor anything to do with, cities. And it's to uplift, it's for the human spirit, the human being. And I think that these kinds of things, and my experience, like with the Mahler Resurrection in the big train station, the reason that that was so impactful, and I saw what it did to transform a very hardened, very cynical critic who just melted and could not believe what had taken place. And in the end, his review was all about love and spirituality. And he never spoke about those things in any other, and highly misogynist. And all he could do was praise everything that went on. And I think that's not just because of the technical capacity, which obviously has to be, at least at a certain level and then beyond. But it's the vessel of the human being that channels the music through the purity of their emotion, the purity of their giving, that then touches directly into the heart of us in the audience. So we then become one together. What the composer gives us is an opportunity to experience what is, I think, our real nature is to be in oneness. And we all go into that one field. So I think that's what we're talking about. How do you help the young musicians understand the system that allows them to be free from struggle, to be available for the beauty of their dawn in the world?
Well, that is, I find with young musicians, it's often not the case that they don't have that joy. They have found their bliss. It's being convinced that that bliss can be carried into the rest of their lives and to the rest of humanity. And I think, if there's a point of inspiration and a point of convincing, it's often on a societal and practical level as much as it is on an internal one. And that kind of conviction, I was blessed as a young person to pursue musicology, to say, find your bliss. This is who you are. And it's very important. I felt, and I think many young musicians who do this, you don't want to do it, you have to do it. And I think by leveling that plane and saying yes, then go and be that person who you are and give back to the world. Yeah. That's all, essential. It's essential also to what we've been saying about Mahler, of course. But how do you get the students to do that? It's one thing to talk about this. You have, I think, daily. I think we have some photos. You have daily exercises or events that people are involved in.
Yeah. So there are daily events, and of course, some of the students are here, Weverton and Viridiana, and they don't go, when they go to the festival, they want to spend all their time with the amazing teachers and, in rehearsal with each other. They don't want to come to coaching sessions. That's not on their agenda at all, until they realize that they can learn some things about how to manage their nervous system, how their mind can be their best friend or their worst enemy, how they can really, the societal beliefs, the beliefs that we have about artists that are centuries old, that say you're going to starve and struggle and die in poverty. And especially if you're from the Southern Hemisphere. So a lot of that, unconscious internal dialogue and belief systems are already there to program and sabotage the success. But when they learn that, wow, and many of them will experience anxiety or even panic attacks, and especially up in the Andes, it's very, very high. So without breath as well, and especially the wind instruments, it can be a big challenge. But then when they can learn some very simple techniques that help them go, oh, I can control that, and they feel the difference in how they feel off stage and then on stage, then it becomes tangible and real and applicable. So have to get some quick wins in there in the first instance, Morten.
And is it true that they also have yoga? Is that part of, yeah.
Yeah, they will tell you, I'm sure about it. But even in the festival that we're still in the middle of, our yoga master, Juan Pablo, who's he's a beautiful human being, and he cares so deeply for all the students. He's around all the time, just kind of checking in. And his whole thing is, well, that if their physiology is sustainable over a lifetime of their being an instrumentalist, then that takes a big burden away as well from the living of your passion, your don. And so we've had, every day there's a coaching video and a yoga video during the virtual festival as well.
You know, it's one thing to call it playing an instrument, but it's hard work, and it is this entire investment of the body and of course the soul. Very, very important aspects. I'm going to actually, you mentioned the students. I'm going to ask them a little bit more as well now. I'm going to call them in. Thank you, Caroline. We may be returning, depends a little bit on our time element here, but thank you so much for enlightening us about all the other things that we need to think about, obviously, when doing this festival and academy.
Thanks, Morten.
So I'm moving on, as I said, to students and an instructor from the festival and academy. I think we have them lined up. I hope they're all present. And here you see the names, Pedro Salcedo from Colombia, an instructor, Weverton Santos from Brazil, French horn student, and Viridiana Hernández from Mexico, a violin student. Could you, each of you, introduce yourselves, please?
Of course. Hi, Morten. Hi, everybody. Thank you for the invitation. I am very, very happy to be here. My name is Pedro Salcedo. I am from Bogotá, Colombia. I first studied music in Colombia, but then I moved to Germany, where I did my master's degree in Weimar and in Würzburg. Currently, I am the principal bassoon of the Orquesta Filarmónica de Bogotá.
Okay, great. And Weverton? Are you there? Mr. Santos? Well, maybe we have Viridiana.
Hola a todos. Hi, everyone. Hi, Morten. First of all, I am so happy for having me, and I am so happy to be here. I am from Mexico. I am a violinist, and I am living now in Morelia, that it's a near city from Mexico City. I am from Mexico City, and currently I am an orchestra musician. I am working in an orchestra.
So I'm going to stick with you just for a moment, Viridiana. When did you come to the festival for the first time, and what motivated you to come to Portillo?
Well, the last year was my first year in Portillo, and for me, this very special festival, because as Caroline and Alejandra said, the festival is very unique in all the world, because we are thinking all the day, all the time in music, but also we are thinking in our body, in our mind, in our emotions, in the musical aspects, but in all the life, in all aspects. So the festival is a great opportunity to learn from the best professors. In the last years was in the Cordillera de los Andes, in Andes Mountains. But also this year, the online version is the same. It's a great festival with concerts all the time and with the best professors. And for me, it's very inspiring to be here. It is very, very special for me, this festival. And I am so happy to have this opportunity to make new friends, to learn from the best professors, and thank you for for all the team from Portillo Festival.
Pedro, you are a professor, and so you too are motivated to come back, it seems, as we saw you in one of the short films. What is it that draws you to this event and to these students?
I think I landed at the festival thanks to an invitation from Alejandra Urrutia. She invited me to be part of the team from teachers and performers. And at that time, I was very honored and grateful to be taken into account for this first edition of the festival. That is the third time that I participate in the Portillo Festival. I think that Portillo Music Festival enriches my life enormously because I can share my experience and my knowledge with young people from other countries. As Latin American musician, I can see myself reflected in these young people. I can see many of their aspirations with the music, the frustrations, motivations, concerns, and maybe because I had them too. And thanks to the festival, I feel like I can guide them, maybe answer some of these questions, contribute with my knowledge, and share my perspectives as professional classical musician from Colombia.
So, you know, when you share like that, it's not just, of course, a technique. You're a role model, right? I mean, you are someone from that part of the world, you know, who has succeeded in a professional capacity. You have also spent time in Germany. You're bringing back some of those skills as well. Do you think that they find comfort and say, look, hey, this is Caroline and I just talked about this. There's someone, you know, from my country or from my part of the world who has done this, has made it, who was successful.
Yes, and I think that's why the students look at me with respect, and try to learn. And I think as a Latin American musician, I have both perspectives. Yes, I have lived how difficult can be to be in Europe, to understand the culture and the music culture. Yes, it was at the beginning difficult for me to understand how fast everything goes. You have to do that, you have to do this, the language. And so I think I had luck because I found there in Europe wonderful people. They helped me to go on. And then when I come to Colombia again, and now with the festival in Latin America, I can share this experience and I can guide some questions, say, okay, it's important to do that, pay attention with the language, where do you want to go, which teacher do you want to study with, and I think it's very, very important because when you don't have information, when you don't have ideas, everything is more difficult.
Right. So the students, you know, don't feel as alone. They feel like they're actually seeing people go ahead of them, and that they not only have you to look for, but they have also their colleagues who are literally around them, usually, who can become lifelong friends, who can become colleagues, who can help one another in their careers.
Yes, indeed.
I want to give Weverton a chance to say something if he is online. I don't know. Weverton, are you with us? We have another student who is going to be.
You're on mute, Weverton.
Sorry?
He's with us, but he's on mute.
Oh, no, we can't hear you, Weverton. So you have to unmute him, I think, no? Can you unmute Weverton?
No, no sound.
Oh, there's no sound. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Maybe if you want to write something into the chat, Weverton, we'd love to hear something from you as well. You're in quite a few of the photos that we have, so you're here in some respect, regardless. Some of our viewers are going to ask what Mahler means to you in terms of your career and your view of music, or maybe a piece of his that might be especially meaningful. Viridiana, what's your relationship to Mahler?
Well, when I was a little girl, my first contact with the music was in a social project in my city and child orchestra. And I remember that I had a little classes, theoretical classes and history classes. And I remember these little lessons about music. And I remember when the professor talked about different composers. So I remember when he talked about a little about Mahler, and I could hear a little excerpts from his works. So when I was very young, but for me it was like, wow. I don't know how can I say it, but I in this moment for me was like a revelation. And after that I thought that I would like to hear this work or another work in the real life, in a concert with an orchestra. And years later I could do it, but for this experience in a social project, and this was my first contact with music and with Mahler in this case. And I know today that I am so interested in to share with another kids, with young people, about all I can do for there. So for me, it's a connection in the when I was a child, and now that I would like to share with everyone all can I do for there. So I think its experience was like a revelation for me.
Mm-hmm. You want to give back already, even as a very young musician. You would like to give back. That's part of the festival too. Is with all of the giving and creating this energy in that way. Weverton, I think you may be online. Maybe we can. I hear you. Are you able to speak? There you are.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. There you are.
Oh, I could.
Oh, very good. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, hello, my name is Weverton. I am fresh hornist. I'm from Brazil. I play horn for 16 years old. And last year I went to Portillo Festival. And this year I would like to go, but the Corona don't let us go again.
So, what are you doing in your personal life? Are you a musician, practicing musician? Are you still a student, or probably a little bit of both?
Well, I was graduated at university for 4 years ago, and now I'm studying to do a master's degree in Spain. And currently, I play in Minas Gerais Orchestra in Brazil.
Uh-huh. And what has the festival done for you? What have been your experiences?
Well, the Portillo Festival was one of the most great experiences in my life because it was so different. We can keep in touch in every teachers and string teachers and wine teachers, and they can search, can they can, oh my God, I forgot the word in English. They can share your experience with us. This is very, very great. And I loved the place. The place inspires you to study more and more. And people and the team, everybody is very good. And the food is so great.
That may be very, very important to people watching who may want to come. It's wonderful to have music in social circles, but if the food is good, that's just an extra incentive, isn't it? One more reason for coming. Pedro, tell me a little about your relationship to Mahler. Have you been performing Mahler in Colombia or?
Yes, of course. I would like to, this is a very good question for me because I think Mahler plays a big and important role in the way I have been dedicating my life to the music. Also in my practical life. Conductor and the musician in orchestra is not easy. And we know that Mahler found some resistance when he wanted to make real these beautiful ideas that he had in his head. But he made it. And when in my life, I have an idea and I find some resistance, I think in people like Maestro Mahler, and this is an inspiration to make it real and to think that maybe at the time some people will not understand what I am trying to say, but with the time, and in the case of Maestro Mahler, the time proved him right. And that is for me really a big inspiration. Of course, in orchestra, I have played symphonies. I love to be there. I love this fourth symphony, this third moment always. I feel I'm really in other world, and I think that therefore I am really connected with this inspiration that Mahler brings to my life.
Wonderful. I could go on talking to the three of you for a very, very long time, as we did a few weeks ago, but I'm afraid I have to move on to towards the end of the show. We got a little bit of a late start because of technical problems. Thank you very much for being our guests. All the best to all of you for the future, and for your continued presence at the festival and at the Academy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
So much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, of course, my pleasure. I'm going to bring back Maestra Alejandra Urrutia, the festival director. Alejandra, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Morten.
There you are. So we have just heard from some young people who were clearly profoundly impacted by their experiences at Portillo. That must be a good feeling.
I had to say that my heart is about to explode. It's just so amazing to hear them. I mean, we don't even realize the impact for the young musicians and the teachers too, and myself too. Morten, we in this part of the world, things are not easy. We had to struggle all the time. Well, I mean, in Chile we had a social outburst last year, and the students, it has an impact on them too. So for me, Portillo, the festival is a place to recover yourself, to be close to nature, to feel loved, again, And this is what we want to create in the festival. No?
Well, it sounds like you are doing that and inspiring young people who are very appreciative. Do you have a at your on your website? By the way, this is still ongoing. The festival will be over soon, but there have been some very, very clever things that you've done. You've done a bilingual online festival. We've talked about COVID and how you've had to go online. You are physically present in Portillo, but there are, and some of your staff, but most people are tuning in from, as we see, from around the Americas, and you are bringing people together virtually in a very coordinated and technically difficult way. You have a translating site. You go from Spanish to English and English to Spanish. You have 2 channels for your broadcasts. You're doing concerts. This has been a very different kind of challenge this year, hasn't it? Absolutely.
No, I constantly tell myself, because I tend to be a bit of a perfectionist, but in this situation with all the technical stuff, you just have to let it go, no? And it's okay, because it's not about that at the end, no? And yes, we, like I said before, we wanted to have the festival this year, in spite of everything that we are all living. To the contrary, we felt that it was necessary, to be close to each other, to be close to the students, to the teachers, and to the audience that are with us. No, we want people to feel that this project is theirs. No, and because also, like we mentioned before, Morten, for us it's not easy to get funding. So we're hoping that one person will see us and says, "Oh, I really want to be part of this festival," no, and support us, because it's important to us. And for me personally, as a project of life, no, this from my own life experiences as a musician, and I want to share that with the students and with the world.
I think it's very telling that your website, there's a web, if you go further down the website, it says there are 4 pillars at the basis of the festival and the academy, and they are wisdom, experience, brilliance, and passion. It's not about playing in the direct sense. It's about a much bigger vision. You want to comment on those pillars, or what they might mean, and how you brought them together?
Yeah, well, we really think about, we try to really be holistic on the festival, as I mentioned before, and wisdom. Well, wisdom in this place is a place to reflect on your own life, with your instrument, with your relationship with your instrument, and I really feel that wisdom comes from that, and from being close to silence. Also, in this place, you can go away of the hotel, and you can find places of silence. No, passion. Well, Latin America is full of passion. No, but not only the passion that we sometimes relate with love or with relationship. No, passion about life, about living. No, about sharing with others. No. Brilliancy. Brilliance. I'm thinking about nature. I mean, I'm watching here my view, and it's really, really bright. No, and that's what we meant with brilliancy. And the other one was, what was the other one?
Wisdom, experience, brilliance, passion.
Experience. Yes, we do want everybody to have a wonderful experience, to have an experience of life, an experience that we can share. We want to make sure that all the students have a tremendous experience, so they can share that experience when they go back home. And we really emphasize this, because we want them to have also an impact in their own lives, in their own communities, And this is one of the purposes of the festival.
We have to soon wrap up, but I'm going to ask you one more question, but I hear Pedro has just texted me and wants to, please, Pedro.
Yeah, Morten, thank you. I only want to say a last thing, and I think this is really the moment. I want to express my gratitude for the enormous work that people like Alejandra, Angelica, and Carolyn make. Because in the context of Latin America, this is really a miracle. Yes, I was been in Germany, in Europe, and maybe it flows a little bit easier there. But what they are doing here is unbelievable, because Latin America is not easy to find places that allow us to move out from the noise, from the instability from our countries, from the economic problems. And Portillo offered us ideal place so we can gather around the music. When I am there, I am always happy because I can see how the music flows without exclusion of gender, nationality, race, social status, and we make joy. And that's why I wanted to use this moment to express my gratitude. And we hope that we can do this with the time and like Alejandra says, that is that we open to the world.
Well, that's a wonderful, wonderful way to bring much of this discussion to a close. Thank you, Pedro. And being open to the world, of course, is what we as a foundation and also, of course, this festival are very, very concerned about and really have put to the forefront. Alejandra, any thoughts for the future as we hopefully steer out of these uncertain times?
Well, Morten, I am so optimistic about future because I believe that we create our own lives, and we want to create a better world, and this is one of the ways we're doing this. And I'm convinced that the festival will last forever, hoping beyond my time, and to really transform the lives of people, of musicians, of students, and everybody who is with us always, because I believe music can transform lives.
Thank you very much. This is the time for questions, and I've run into that time a little bit. I do have one question. Are the festival concerts available for public viewing on YouTube or via the website?
For this festival, which actually finishes tomorrow, if you go to the link of the festival, is portillofestival.com, you go in there and you can register, and then you can watch all the activities, all the concerts for free. And we have activities all day long. We start at 10 in the morning until 9 at night. And at the same time, if you haven't been able to watch all of the concerts and lectures, we will put them all on YouTube in our page. So you have not missed anything.
And a program reminder, Caroline Ward tonight will be interviewing Marina Mahler from the Mahler Foundation, and you might want to catch that in this afternoon. There is the website. Thank you very much, Francisco. And I think there was a sighting of Mahler in Portillo, Alejandra. I'm not sure. Can we have a look at that again?
Yes.
I think I didn't know that. It's a rare photograph. It looks like it's from around the turn of the century.
This is very good. I haven't seen it before.
I think it was just created during our show. Oh, that's very, very Very nice. Well, thank you for being a pillar in Latin America and in the Americas and in the musical world, Alejandra, with this and with your team. You're doing tremendous things. I think even if Mahler weren't there, he would be happy to be, if he could be. And I want to thank you for this tremendous project.
Well, thank you, Morten, for having us in the Mahler Spotlight. This means a lot to us. Thank you for all your support, and also to the foundation. And I also would like to mention that, Marina will be with us at 6 p.m. Chilean time. That will be 10 p.m. in Europe. But we will also have a little surprise for all of you after that. So please join us in the platform of the festival, because we want you to be there. And so thank you, Morten, for this opportunity.
It's our pleasure, and we hope very much that this will help spread the wonderful things you're doing with the festival.
Thank you.
Good. That's it for our program today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to join us for exciting Mahler Foundation programming in just a few weeks. The next Mahler Hour is on February 6th, 2021. On this show, we will be asking, what do we know about Mahler and how do we know it? We will look at how the scores, the letters, the interpretations of his compositions are uncovered and presented by the experts as they bring Mahler to life from the historical record. In our next Mahler Spotlight on February 20th, we will bring you the next installment of Interpreting Mahler's Music with Lou Smoley in cooperation with the Gustav Mahler Society of New York. My thanks to Alejandra Urrutia, Caroline Ward, Pedro Salcedo, Weverton Santos, Viridiana Hernández, and all the folks at the Portillo International Music Festival and Academy in Chile for being our guests today and for hosting our visit there. Thanks also to Francisco Brizio for mastering the technology, Monica Anguiano for their organizational support, and Marco Ayala running our social media channels. Stay safe. See you soon.